This video is part of a series. Complete the previous videos in this playlist before you start this video. The complete playlist information, the material and the code file information is given in the video description below.
Welcome to our new topic within the space of Agentic AI system. This particular concept, MCP, it is gaining a lot of traction. Let us try to understand what is MCP. And then we will try to see MCPs are a kind of fancy way of wrapping up all your tools. You can call simply it as a wrapper to easily understand it. All your APIs, all your tools, if you wrap them and if you keep it as a middle layer between your AI agent, you have your AI agent. And then usually AI agent interacts with multiple tools. Now in between comes MCP to make it much more simpler, easier, or mostly systematic. That is the most important aspect of MCP. We are going to see all the details of that. We will try to see some pseudocode and MCP workflow. And then we will see a couple of examples of MCP. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be like we will feel like we almost have the superpower and everything is working so smoothly. So let's understand what is MCP. Before even we go to the understanding of MCP, I'll try to give you an intuition. Instead of directly explaining it to you that this is MCP, what I would like to do is maybe I'll try to see what exactly is the need. So model MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. This MCP has been introduced by Claude team for the first time. So the Anthropic team, in their own words, what they say about MCP is Model Context Protocol. Context is the keyword here, even the protocol. So what exactly is this context that we are talking about? We will get an idea by the end of this session. What exactly is the protocol that we are talking about? What they're saying is MCP is an open protocol that standardizes how applications provide context to LLMs. We will get an idea on this. As of now, this sentence may not make any sense to us. Basically, here it tries to say that MCP helps our LLMs and AI agents to interact with the tools in an easy manner or in a standardized manner. It's a standardized protocol. And they're saying think of MCP like a USB-C port for AI applications. Just like USB-C port provides standardized way to connect to your devices, various peripherals, accessories, MCP provides a standardized way to connect AI models to different data sources and different tools. As of now, I agree that it may not add a lot of sense to us. The whole session is about understanding what exactly they are trying to tell us here. We will see a couple of examples, couple of analyses, couple of pseudo codes, couple of workflows to understand what exactly this MCP is all about. If you ask me right now, a lot of people who are working on agentic AI, what they are looking at is mostly adding very simple features on desktop apps, making an event in calendar or triggering Gmail or building a simple Telegram or WhatsApp bot. So right now, a lot of people who are working on AI agents, I have seen people are building simple AI agents, but still they are working effectively. They can do maybe a small task or a medium-sized task. But if you take this to a level where if you are building AI agents at an enterprise level, companies like Oracle, companies like IBM, when they are entering the picture, the real potential lies in the broader professional enterprise level vision. So these companies, they are not going to build AI agents which will help as personal assistants for somebody to update their calendar, for somebody to send an automatic reply to Gmail. I don't think these companies are focusing on these type of AI agentic AI tasks. When big companies like IBM are building agentic AI systems, definitely they must be doing something very big for their clients. When it comes to that level, I want you to come out of the regular agentic AI system examples that we build. If you come out of them, if you look at the enterprise level agentic AI applications, then there is a huge scope for standardizing everything. You cannot interact with APIs in their own specialized or in their own customized way. Right now, MCP is in very early stage. If everybody adopts MCP is like a standardized protocol that everybody must follow. That means IBM will create one MCP server, one set of rules, then everybody must follow within that company. Or Oracle creates one MCP server, in that all the tools will be included. Everybody must follow them. Right now, nobody is following any of the rules or there is no standard protocol. I have an agentic AI system that will call the tool one in my own way, tool two in my own way, tool three in my own way. I'm calling these tool one, tool two, tool three. And then the same company, if the other team is there, they are also calling tool one, tool two, tool three. Again, they are writing lots and lots of repetitive code. What if we standardize all these tools? We will keep an MCP server that will interact with the tools and everybody has to interact with MCP server. How do we do it? So basically, if you are looking at a very big organization, if they want to standardize this whole agentic AI system, how it interacts with the tools, that is where MCP comes into the picture. I haven't explained you what is MCP. We are going to get that clarity very soon. But only thing that I told is if MCP comes into the picture when you are building very large agentic AI systems that are interacting with n number of tools. Now let me give you the actual intuition behind MCP, because I have used the term MCP multiple times, but by now you might not have got real clarity what exactly is MCP. Now let's start from zero. I don't know what is MCP, what exactly is the need of MCP, when does it come into the picture? Now imagine you want to book a hotel through aggregator apps or the platforms like, let's say, Make My Trip. In Make My Trip, I want to book flights or I can book hotels as well. So let's say I go to Make My Trip and I want to book a hotel. So I will go here, I will go to the website, I'll click on hotels. Let's say I will write, let's say I want to book a hotel in Bangalore, anywhere in Bangalore. Okay, these are my dates that I want to book the hotel for. And then once I select these two dates, I would say one room for two adults, search for it. Now Make My Trip is giving me various options. So it is giving me option for JW at Marriott. It is giving me option for ITC. It is giving me option for Taj Bangalore, Radisson Blue, etc., etc., Palm Meadows. It is giving me multiple options. Now, Make My Trip, they themselves do not have any hotel. They are connected to multiple hotels. From that hotel, they are getting the information whether the rooms are available or not. If the rooms are available, what is the tariff per night? That is the information Make My Trip is trying to get from these hotels. Now, how does this website communicate with different hotels? Right now, I have, let's say, Leela Palace is one of the hotel, Royal Arcade is another hotel. Now, how do you think Make My Trip communicates with Leela Palace and gets that okay per night the room whatever that we are looking for is costing us this much? How does this Make My Trip communicate with Royal Arcade and get this price that per night this is a room? How can we fetch the hotel availability followed by booking? Different hotels may have different websites. Definitely, if I go to Leela Palace website, the website architecture is different, the website structure is different. Maybe the pages are different. Royal Arcade will have their own website. So Make My Trip is not going to scrape the websites and get us the information. So it's not going to do web scraping. Then how can we get this information? How do you think Make My Trip is getting this information from different hotels? They are using APIs. What is an API? Application Programming Interface, where each of these hotels will give their own API. This Make My Trip website will have access to these hotels' APIs. So these hotels, at their own will and wish, happily they will share their part of the database details with these aggregator websites like Make My Trip or Go IBBO. So these websites, aggregated websites, apps, they will hit that website or they will hit the database of Leela. They will hit the database of Royal Arcade through API, get the particular information that they are looking for. Right now, Make My Trip, let's call it as MMT, Make My Trip wants to get the information from Leela Palace about the room price. It will hit the website by using the API and then get back the price. It will also hit the website of Royal Arcade by using the API provided by Royal Arcade and get the price. So that is the standard protocol that right now everybody is following. Now there is a small glitch in this, or there is a small problem. What is the problem? If you see the Leela Palace Bangalore API, the way it works is there will be a base URL. Then there is an option to get available rooms. Then the response sent by the Leela Palace API. This will be the response. Leela Palace sends that room ID is this one, type is deluxe, price per night is this much, currency is this one, amenities are these. Now the same format, there is no rule that Royal Arcade also has to follow exactly the same API format. The API is not set by the aggregator. The API is set by the hotel itself. So this hotel, Leela Palace told that we will give you the information in this particular format. Now, Royal Arcade says that we will give you the information in this particular format. On the face of it, they look same, but here first room ID is given, but here number of rooms are given. Later, room type is given, but here in this API, room price is given. The third element is room type. Here it is price per night. And then here it is named as amenities. Here it says includes these. Now, this particular website, Make My Trip, when it is interacting with multiple hotels, they have no other option but to maintain different APIs. They have to hard code how Radisson Blue is giving their API. Accordingly, they have to write the code and get this information. How Palm Meadows is giving their API and then write the code, get this information. So right now, this website, if it is handling 1,000 hotels, it has to handle 1,000 APIs, no matter which format they are in. it is the responsibility of Make My Trip to normalize that data and then fill their internal databases. Now that is going to be a hectic task. And by chance, if any of these hotels change their API later on, if they update their API again, Make My Trip, they have to update that particular API which is connecting, and then they have to fill their databases. Now, until now, we discussed about APIs. Let's say if there's an aggregator like Make My Trip, if it want to interact with multiple hotels, it has to use APIs. Now, if you want to keep all of this in an AI agent, now what we do is if we want an AI agent to book this hotel, we would ask the tool to pick this hotel. So inside a tool, we will keep Leela Palace. Inside another tool, we will keep Royal Arcade. So what we do is agents use tools. Our AI agent, if I want an AI agent to book my hotel, an AI agent to check whether this hotel is available or not. AI agent, what are the two main sources? It will have LLM, that is thinking ability. AI agent will take the request from the user. The user will give the request in a usual natural language text. Here in Make My Trip, the user has to select particular fields or he has to fill a particular form. But when you are using AI agent, how does it work? The user will say that, you know what, I'm going to Bangalore. I want to book a hotel, and that is for 2 days from this day to this day. So that is what the user will say. That will be the prompt or the input. Now that will be understood by large language model. The large language model will understand this and interpret it. After that, it will tell the AI agent that, you know what, the user wants to book a hotel or he want to check the availability. Then the AI agent will take the help of the tools. AI agent will say, any of the tools, do you have hotel booking capability? Do you have the capability to check the hotel availability? So what we do is whatever is this API, we just wrap it under tool. Tool one is for Leela Palace. Tool two is for Royal Arcade. Like that, the problem that we have with APIs, how MMT, Make My Trip, has to handle different APIs, different formats. The same problem AI agent will also have when it is interacting with multiple different types of tools. That means every API has their own structure. Now we have to create a standard protocol or we have to somehow normalize it. So the problem with the tools, what is the first problem with the tools? Not all tools have the same structure. All tools may not follow the standard protocol. There are thousands and thousands of tools. Even then, this is somewhat better. Tool 1 is also talking about hotel booking. Tool 2 is also talking about hotel booking only. Yes, there is a small difference in the API link URL. There is a small difference in the get back URL, the REST API. There is some difference in the API, but still, this is also for checking the hotel availability. This is also for checking the hotel availability. But you know what? AI agent, an AI agent, it doesn't only check the hotel availability. It will use LLM. It will use multiple tools. When I say tools, AI agent will not only use the tool of hotel availability. AI agent, maybe this is a travel planner agent. This travel planner agent will get the information on weather. This will get the information on flight booking. It will get the information on hotel checking. It will get the information on, let's say, restaurant booking, cab booking. It will get hell lot of information. It will be this AI agent will be interacting with multiple tools. Now, for one task, if we have multiple tools and handling all these tools, it is going to be a havoc for AI agent. There will be a lot of hard coding. For every API, we have to write lots and lots of code, and it will be a lot of repetition in that. So each API has its own structure. Each API has its own error handling. I'm just talking about the structure. There are other aspects as well. Each API has its own authentication method. Each API has its own rate limits. Now, tool one does the weather handling, a weather checking task. Tool two, flight checking. Tool three, flight booking. Tool four, hotel checking. Tool five, hotel booking. Tool six, restaurant booking, cab booking. There are different tools available. Now, when you have these many tools, how do you think an AI agent can handle all these tools without repetition? That is the first thing. The second thing is there are too many things that we need to handle for each of these tools, and I don't want to waste my AI agent in getting lost within this whole tools organization or structuring these tools because it has a broader task of whatever the user has given. We want to focus on that. We don't want to take the headache of orchestrating all these tools. We want to take this outside. That is why there is a need for a standard protocol. Writing custom codes for all these tools is a hell lot of a job. It is going to be very tedious, especially I'm talking about an enterprise level. If you are building a very complex agentic AI system that interacts, let's say, with 200 tools or maybe more than 200 tools, and if there is a lot of repetition, and if there is a lot of error handling, a lot of authentication methods, rate limits, etc., if we have to handle them, or maybe building, if you are building one AI agent, agentic system, that is handling 200 tools. And such agentic AI systems, if you are building, let's say, 1,000 of such agentic AI systems, I'm talking about agentic AI system. Let's say if you take one company like Oracle, they have 1,000 clients, and for each client, they are building different type of agentic AI systems. And each one of them is so complex. Each one of them again uses 200 tools each. There is going to be hell lot of repetition. It's going to create a lot of confusion as well. What if API is updated? Let's say you created one agentic AI system which is using 200 tools. Out of these 200 tools, there are 5 tools where this API structure has been updated. What if the schema of API is slightly changed? Then this whole agentic AI system may fail if those tools are very much critical in its workflow. Can we create a standard protocol that can provide the context to AI agent? Providing the context is nothing but if you want to book the hotel, one tool come and say that I'm the tool that will book the hotels. If the user says that I want to check the flights, one tool will come and say that I'm the AI, I'm the tool that can check the flights, and one of the tool can be booking the flights. Can we create a standard protocol that can provide the context to AI agents to choose the tool? So there are two simple ways to look at this. Even though MCP is a very big deal right now, a simplest way to look at this is earlier agent used to directly interact with the tool. Now MCP comes into the picture. Some people say MCP is just a fancy wrapper around the tools, and I agree with it. MCP is simply a fancy wrapper around the tools that will make your overall interaction with the tools. AI agent, if it interacts, if it wants to interact with the tools, earlier it was doing direct interaction. Now MCP will create a standard protocol so that you can build enterprise level applications without any hassle. Let's get into more details. We will get into more analogies to understand this. As of now, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It is like a universal connector for AI agents or tools. Instead of AI agent learning the tool's APIs, it learns MCP format once. Now, that is the most important aspect. AI agent doesn't interact with your tools or APIs anymore. It just learns the MCP format once, and it can use any MCP compliant tool. We're going to see what exactly it means. Your AI agent, it will be connected to MCP. Now, if there is any update in the tool, we don't care because MCP internally it will take care of it. Still, we have to handle all this. Still, we have to do all of this. The work will not be reduced, but it will be standardized. That means there is a very high chance that your AI agent may not break in between. MCP is essentially a middle layer. You can think of it like a middleware that sits between your raw APIs and AI agents. Here, I'm using these two things interchangeably, raw APIs and tools, because if you are building a tool within that, you just put your API, you just wrap your API, you decorate it using the tool. So when I say tool or API, almost like I'm trying to use them interchangeably. So without a MCP, the AI agent takes directly or it talks directly to each hotel, each flight booking, other APIs. It must handle different formats, authentication errors by itself, AI agent. Now with MCP, AI agent talks to only MCP server. The MCP server takes all these, it indeed talks to all these APIs, normalize the data, handles the limits, returns the standard format back to the AI agent. So without MCP, AI agent talking to the tools, with MCP, AI agent talking to MCP server handles all this. So if there's any problem, MCP server has to take care of it, or we have to fix it once in MCP server. And once you create this MCP server, it's not just one AI agent. You can use multiple AI agents talking to MCP server. Earlier, this was not possible. Once you create one MCP server, this is agent 1, this is agent 2, this is agent 3, agent 4, agent 5. Earlier, if there is anything wrong, all these agents used to break. But now, if there is anything wrong, you just fix that MCP server. All these AI agents can use the single MCP server. That's why it's called server. AI agent discovers tools instead of being hard-coded APIs. It discovers tools instead of being hard-coded APIs. It discovers tools via MCP server. Integration logic lives in the MCP server. I'm not saying that we are getting away from the integration. I'm not saying that we are getting away from API calling. Still, whatever was the pain point that was there, but right now what we are doing is we are standardizing this so that our repetitive work will get reduced. You write once. Now, this is the most important point. You write once, use it everywhere. One MCP server works for almost all the AI agents inside your company. Imagine a very big company like Oracle or IBM. They have written one MCP server. Everybody within IBM must be using that one MCP server. How much of the work will be reduced? Otherwise, thousands and thousands of teams that are creating thousands and thousands of agents, they were interacting with the APIs individually. tools are discoverable, pluggable, and reusable. These tools are pluggable to this MCP server. MCP server is a fancy wrapper around the APIs. So let us see some pseudocode. How does this MCP server works?
Continue with the next video in the playlist. We are covering everything step by step. If you have any questions or the comments, please post them in the comments window below.